Hi guys, greetings from Bulgaria. In this video we will review how to handle new windows after we click web elements. And here is a short agenda. First we are going to discuss what is a window in Selenium. Sometimes more than one window can appear, so I will show you how we can handle multiple of them via the Selenium API. You are going to see that in the demo. Also, we're going to see some of the new methods that were added to the window API to Selenium in Selenium version 4. And of course, we are going to use them to automate some more advanced scenarios during the last part. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the LambdaTest channel. Each week they're publish new videos. Hit the ring bell so that you get notified when there is a new video. Also check the LambdaTest blog, because there are many awesome articles there that can help you to get better in the profession, and with both the videos and the articles you'll get top engineer. So without further ado, let's start. We're going to use for our demos again the Selenium Playground website, which is an awesome resource to test your Selenium knowledge. And here we have a page for working with window pop-ups. What is the window pop-up model? Well, on this page, when we click it, Facebook or Twitter window will appear. But let's first discuss what is a window in Selenium. A window in any browser is the main web page, like this one here, on which the user lands after hitting a URL. And such window in Selenium is referring to the main page. It's referred to as parent window or main window. It opens when a Selenium WebDriver session is created and has all the focus on the WebDriver. So if you try directly to search inside this one, this won't work with the driver. So we need somehow to switch the context to it and instruct WebDriver that we need to search directly here. Again, as in our example, I clicked here this follow on Twitter, this opened. Sometimes instead of this window pop-up, a new tab can be opened. It really depends on the HTML. And now all the other windows that open inside your main window here, for example this one, this is called child window in Selenium. And so we need a way to handle this in Selenium. And now when you know the concept of parent and child, let's see them in action. In order to solve the mystery here, we are going to use in Selenium, there is one more term that you need to know. It's called window handle, but in a minute, when we discuss the demos, you're going to understand it. Also, check the description below. You will find the source code of the demos here. You can download them from GitHub. If you have any comments, put them in the comment section below. I will be happy to answer. And let's quickly review the setup here. This is a standard JUnit Selenium project. We use Maven. If you are not familiar with how to use JUnit or TestMu, there are many awesome video series on the LambdaTest channel. Check them. Also, their whole series about Selenium and this type of setup. Really quick in the POM.xml, which is Maven dependency engine for Java. I just have here the JUnit dependencies. We have Selenium, the latest version. At this moment, this is 4.8. Also, we have WebDriver Manager. And after that, we have a test class here. We have the Chrome browser, Chrome driver, WebDriver wait, that we use it for waiting for elements and other situations in our tests, as you see with the windows. If you're not familiar how to use it, check my video about how we can wait for elements on the LambdaTest channel. Before all of the tests, we use this before all annotation. We download the proper driver for the specific version of the browser on my machine, and before each test we start the Chrome browser, we maximize it, we initialize the WebDriver wait based on it, and then after each test we're going to close the driver and basically open it every time. So for our initial tests, basically we want, when I click here this button, follow on Twitter, we can find it by link text here. In order to check your locators, you can inspect the element here. It's the same for Edge and Chrome. I prefer to use Edge now. So we can get it by title, we can get it by this text here. As you can see, we have these spaces here. So if you're not familiar how we can use it and find it by link text, but also you can find it using XPath locator like this. For example, /a, and here we can type text equal to the text of the link. But as you can see here, we have these spaces. If you're curious how you can write more complex locators like this, you can check one of my latest videos on the LambdaTest channel about how to find elements by text. There we go in many details how you can use XPath with contain, starts with, and also there is a more advanced function called normalize spaces, just to trim the spaces here. But anyways, this is not important for our case. We just need to locate the element here and click it. And then somehow we need, as I said, to switch to this particular window, because otherwise our test will basically fail. And there is one more trick. Depending on your internet connection and internet speed, this window may load a little bit slower. And if you try immediately to find elements inside of it, probably the test will fail. So we need a way to wait for the window to be completely loaded, and to be sure that the window appeared. So let's do that in the tests. Also, there are two ways how we can iterate through the windows, and I'm going to show you two ways. So first, we navigate through the demo web page that I told you about, the playground. Again, you can check it out. There are many awesome resources on it. You can use it to really train yourself on different aspects in automated testing. So we find the follow on Twitter window, we click on it, and as I said, we need a way to wait for this second window to appear, and we can use WebDriver wait. And as you know, we always, most of 90% of the cases, we use it together with this special class expected conditions. Part of these expected conditions, we have a method called number of windows to be. Basically, this is the condition where we will wait for 30 seconds or the specific timeout that you set. But here I will wait until we have two windows here, right? And then we get the parent window handle. But first, what is the window handle? As I said, this is a term here specific to WebDriver. A window handle stores the unique address of the browser windows, and it's just a pointer to a window whose return type is alphanumeric. And the window handle in Selenium helps in handling multiple windows and child windows. And each browser window has unique window handle value through which it can be identified. For example, this can be like a random GUID here, but this was like the last time when I run this test. This was the window handle ID of my parent window. This is the playground website. So I get it first the ID of my parent window. Then you have a second method called getWindowHandles. This will return a collection of these IDs for all of the opened windows. Don't worry if as me you have many open tabs in your regular Chrome or Edge or whatever browser you use. Don't worry, basically the driver will return only the window handles for this particular session, or for example when you open initially here the playground website. After that, these window handles will return just the new windows that were opened within this session. Even if I have 100 other tabs open in my Chrome, this won't return them, right? So you're safe. Here, this will return only two windows, my main window and the Twitter one. And we have two options to iterate through them. You can use iterator, and then we can have this syntax. If you check some articles online, most of the demos, they use this approach with while loop. We need to get the iterator, then we use hasNext. Basically, this instructs whether we have next value in the iteration process, and using the next method we get the current iterator value, and so forth. But this is a little bit I don't know, not so readable code. I prefer to use the approach where we just for each them, right? Because basically inside the for each statement here in Java, the compiler is generating this complex code here with the iterator and everything. Actually, this is what for each statement is doing, but this is much more clear, right? We're just for eaching all of the windows. So each of this current window will basically hold the ID of the current window. This is the current window handle. So I'm checking it. Is my main window here that I get it here different from this one? Because basically this will return all of the windows, main window as well. So only if they're different, I'm going to switch to the new window. In order to switch the context back to this new window, we use the switch to window and provide the window handle. After that, we're working inside this new window. We can maximize it. As you can see here, I'm waiting for some specific element on the Twitter page. Then I click on it. I accept all of the cookies and click for LambdaTest. In order to close this second window here, this one, in order to close it and then return to working on the main window, we use the close method of the driver. Again, remember that we already switched to the new second window, and with the close we are going to close it. In order to switch back to the main window and be able to locate other buttons, for example, imagine that we want to click on the Facebook link. In order to do that, you need to switch back to the original window. And in order to do that, you need to pass here the window handle for your main window. So I usually save it in another variable here. So don't forget to do that. And as I said, in Selenium 4, new methods were added to the Windows API, and let's discuss them now. Just before that, don't forget that if you call not close but quit will close all tabs and windows. Don't forget that. Use close if you want to close the current window. So in Selenium 4, we have to the switch to interface, we have this new method called new window, and we have this enumeration mentioning whether you want a new tab or a window. So this will open a new tab, this will open a new window. As I said, you can provide here name of the handle, of the window handle. And also if, as me, you have two monitors and you want to switch to the second primary monitor, you can use set position, and this can move the window around. Now, in some cases, like in this example here, when you click this button, this can open two windows, one for this Facebook and then one for this Twitter, and you can work with all of them. And in order to do that, again, I am clicking on the flow on Twitter and Facebook. Then I get the parent window, and you can get it as a list of stream, but as I said, even when this is a set, you can still for each it, but you still don't know, because basically the window handle, you cannot differentiate what these windows are, basically if you have many of them, just by the handle, because this is super generic. This is just a random ID. You don't know what this is. You cannot just filter it. So you need to basically for each them and get the title. This is what I wanted to show you. Basically by title, for reaching them, switching them, you can differentiate on which window you are right now and perform some actions. As you can see here, if I am on Facebook, I do something. Then if I am on the Twitter window, then I will do something else. So by the way, even recently I was working in an enterprise project when we had to automate some hybrid apps on Appium, and as you know, in hybrid apps in Appium, we actually underneath we use again Chrome driver, and when you work with different screens in the hybrid apps, they're actually web pages, so we have to do all of this over again. So this can be a useful knowledge for you to know even how to automate web and hybrid apps. But there is a whole bunch of other videos on the LambdaTest channel about Appium, so check them out. And sometimes we don't always want to repeat this code every time when we need to work with Windows. So usually when I need to create frameworks or libraries, I create a utility class called window handler, where we're hiding all of this for reaching, checking the title, closing the windows, etc. inside of it. In a minute I'm going to explain how we can build it, but let's imagine how this works. I usually want to provide what we are doing inside the window through Lambda expression like this. I want to provide the driver, so that basically we're going to use it inside the Lambda. This is the basically the title that we're going to identify whether we are on the proper window. This is the third parameter, is whether we want to close the window or not. Basically, are we going to switch to the parent when we close it? And then inside of here we provide the code that we're going to execute inside the window before we close it. So let's see how this works. In the window handler class here, I created a static method called handle, and as you can see, it has a bunch of parameters. The first one is the driver, so that we can operate with the different windows. Then we have the window title, a boolean whether we should close it, and this runnable, I listed here the different delegates in Java. Basically a delegate allow us to provide a function as a parameter shortly. Basically runnable is just a void function to be passed as a parameter, but we have others. For example, the consumer can accept one parameter, but it's void. We can provide two parameters void function. This is by consumer, and so on and so forth. This is not so important right now. Now if we want to get all of the windows here, let's implement this function. Again, as I said, we don't need to cast it every time to list, but if you prefer so, you can do that. Then in order to get the main window, we get it like this: get driver, get window handle. This will get the current window. Then we can do the following. Let me explain it to you. We for each all of the current windows. Again, I'm basically moved this type of check so that we are sure that we are for eaching the child windows. Otherwise, we don't want to switch back to the original main window, right? So when we are sure that this is a child window, we switch to it. Basically, this is the current driver context. We maximize it. We check if we are on the correct page by checking the title, whether it contains the window title that we provided here. If yes, in order to execute this code, whether it's a function or whether we provided it as a Lambda function, you just call the run method. Then we check whether this should be closed or not. If yes, then we call driver close, and then we switch back to our main window. This way we reuse all of this logic. Otherwise you need to repeat it every time in your page objects, in your tests, and it's just too complex, right? It's hard to read, and you always want to abstract it somewhere in this type of utilities. So again, in order to use it now, since this is a static method, we just call window handle driver. This is the Twitter. We should close it, and with a Lambda expression we provide the code that we want to execute inside. Of course, you can provide even we can move that to a separate private function, private method, and we can provide the private method instead. But I usually prefer to use this type of anonymous method as Lambda expression. Awesome, right? If you want to execute this code in Lambda tests, it's pretty simple. You just need to, it's the same code, but check the desired capabilities generator, provide instead of using Chrome driver, we need just to use the remote WebDriver. That's it. And then you provide all of the options. If you need to use the new Selenium 4, don't forget that to specify the version here. So, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I will be really happy to answer to you. Also, if you have suggestions about new videos, also put them below. I want to hear what are your thoughts. Don't forget to check the LambdaTest blog website. There are many awesome articles published each week that they help you to understand better how to work with WebDriver. And don't forget to get your free certification on the LambdaTest channel about JUnit, Selenium, and many more. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.